Imagine drifting into sleep tonight, but instead of your mind wandering aimlessly, it begins to quietly rebuild itself, reshaping your thoughts, your beliefs, and your very potential. What if every night as your eyes close, your mind could absorb powerful ideas, reset limiting patterns, and prepare you to wake stronger, more focused, and unstoppable? Tonight, we're going to guide you through a journey of the mind, a journey where relaxation meets transformation, where reflection becomes power, and where the wisdom you hear isn't just words, but seeds planted in your subconscious, ready to grow into unstoppable confidence, clarity, and success. This is not just another motivational message. This is your personal blueprint for rebuilding your mind while you rest, tapping into the quiet yet extraordinary power that lies within you. By the end of this experience, you'll have tools to rewire limiting beliefs, align your goals with your deepest desires, and ignite a force within you that takes action effortlessly. You'll learn how to harness your thoughts, how to use repetition and visualization as your allies, and how each night of focused attention can become a stepping stone toward the life you've always dreamed of. So get comfortable, let go of the stress and distractions of the day, and open your mind to transformation. Tonight, your sleep becomes more than rest. It becomes growth, insight, and the start of a powerful journey that begins right here, right now. Every word you hear is designed to guide you, empower you, and prepare your subconscious for unstoppable success. Stay with me, because by the time this session ends, your mind will never look at sleep the same way again. The subconscious mind is a remarkable, ever-active part of our mental architecture, operating beneath the surface of conscious thought, quietly shaping our behaviors, habits, and perceptions. Even when we believe our mind is at rest, as during sleep, the subconscious continues to function, absorbing and processing information in ways that the conscious mind often cannot perceive. This part of the mind does not differentiate between positive or negative inputs. It accepts what is repeatedly presented and works to integrate it into our beliefs and automatic responses. This is why the ideas and images we feed into it, whether through visualization, affirmations, or reflective listening, can profoundly influence the way we think, act, and respond to challenges in life. When we consciously choose empowering and constructive thoughts before sleep, we are effectively planting seeds in the fertile ground of the subconscious, where they can grow into strong mental habits and behaviors that guide our waking actions. The subconscious stores these thoughts and experiences, often recalling them in creative ways through intuition, problem solving, and even dreams, providing insight and direction that may feel like sudden inspiration. It is constantly working toward completion of ideas and goals we feed it, organizing experiences, forming mental patterns, and aligning our actions with the images we have created internally. The mind also responds to repetition and emotional intensity. The more vividly we imagine or emotionally engage with a thought, the more deeply it is ingrained into the subconscious. Over time, this repeated input transforms perception, builds confidence, and strengthens our mental resolve. The subconscious is the silent architect of our character, capable of reshaping limiting beliefs and habits into empowering patterns when properly guided. This explains why consistent exposure to constructive ideas, motivational insights, or lessons during periods of relaxation or sleep can produce subtle yet powerful changes in thinking and behavior. By consciously directing thoughts before sleep, we tap into the natural processes of the subconscious, allowing it to process, integrate, and reinforce ideas without effort or force. In this way, the mind becomes an continuously reconfiguring itself in alignment with our deepest intentions, supporting growth, problem-solving, creativity, and success in every aspect of life. It is through this intimate relationship with the subconscious that we can subtly yet profoundly influence the way we think, react, and achieve, using sleep not merely as rest, but as a time for mental programming and personal transformation. Nighttime reflection and relaxation create a unique environment in which the mind can reset, recharge, and prepare for growth, offering a natural pathway to clarity and mental restoration. As the day's activities fade and the body and mind slow down, the conscious mind relinquishes control, allowing a state of calm awareness to emerge. In this state, the mind becomes highly receptive to suggestions, ideas, and insights, absorbing them in ways that are often less accessible during the busyness of waking life. Engaging in focused listening or gentle reflection before sleep helps quiet the mental chatter that accumulates from daily stress, worry, and decision-making, providing a fertile ground for deeper understanding and subconscious integration. The act of relaxing intentionally before sleep, whether through calming audio, affirmations, or reflective thought, signals to the brain that it is time to let go of tension, promoting the release of stress hormones and supporting physiological and psychological balance. This relaxation fosters a heightened state of receptivity in which the mind can reorganize its priorities, synthesize new information, and strengthen mental pathways that lead to problem-solving, creativity, and emotional resilience. By incorporating the practice of thoughtful reflection, individuals allow themselves to review the day's experiences with a constructive lens, identifying lessons, insights, and opportunities for improvement while simultaneously reinforcing positive habits and beliefs. The gentle rhythm of nighttime reflection provides a safe space for the mind to experiment with possibilities, imagine solutions, and rehearse goals in a stress-free environment, taking advantage of the natural receptivity of the subconscious. This combination of reflection and relaxation enhances memory consolidation, deepens understanding, and promotes emotional balance, all of which contribute to stronger decision-making and more intentional living. Over time, the habit of preparing the mind for sleep with conscious reflection and relaxation builds a resilient mental framework, allowing challenges to be met with calmness, focus, and clarity. The mind, conditioned by this nightly practice, gradually shifts toward a state of proactive engagement rather than reactive stress, harnessing the restorative power of sleep to process, integrate, and amplify the lessons and wisdom absorbed throughout the day. Through this process, sleep becomes more than a mere pause in activity. It transforms into a critical period of mental refinement and strategic preparation, where the mind, unburdened by the distractions of the day, can quietly align intentions with insight, creativity, and forward-looking clarity, creating the conditions for sustainable growth and transformation. Rebuilding mental habits is a deliberate process that begins with understanding the power of thought and the role of the mind in shaping behavior, character, and destiny. The brain, like any organ, adapts and reorganizes itself in response to repeated experiences, patterns, and ideas, a principle that allows individuals to replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones over time. Habits, both mental and behavioral, are formed through repeated thoughts and actions, often occurring automatically without conscious effort, and many of the limitations people experience are the result of deeply ingrained negative patterns. By consciously feeding the mind constructive, positive, and goal-oriented ideas, one can gradually rewire these patterns, creating new pathways that support confidence, resilience, and purposeful action. The process requires consistency, focus, and the intentional alignment of thoughts with desired outcomes. As the subconscious mind does not distinguish between imagined and real experiences, it responds to repetition and emotional engagement, embedding ideas into the neural network of the brain. Visualization, affirmations, and reflective listening before sleep serve as powerful tools for this transformation, providing the mind with clear models of success, self-belief, and resourcefulness, which it can internalize and act upon. Over time, the subconscious begins to support these new mental habits automatically, influencing decision-making, emotional responses, and behavioral tendencies in ways that are aligned with the individual's highest goals. This rebuilding of mental habits is not an instant process, but a gradual evolution, where small, consistent efforts compound into profound change, allowing individuals to overcome fear, doubt, and procrastination, while embracing clarity, determination, and creative problem-solving. As old limitations are replaced with constructive patterns, the mind becomes a source of strength and guidance, generating ideas, solutions, and motivation that align with one's vision for life. The key lies in persistence and repetition, allowing the mind to absorb, integrate, and act upon empowering beliefs until they become second nature, transforming both thought and action seamlessly. Each mental habit that is nurtured through focused attention and intentional practice strengthens the foundation for personal growth, success, and fulfillment, creating a mindset that naturally attracts opportunities and navigates challenges with confidence. By rebuilding mental habits consciously, the mind gradually transitions from a passive repository of past conditioning into an active architect of the future, shaping thoughts, emotions, and actions in alignment with the individual's deepest intentions and highest aspirations, and turning daily practice into a transformative force that elevates every aspect of life. Visualization and goal alignment are powerful processes that allow the mind to bridge the gap between intention and achievement by creating vivid, detailed mental images of desired outcomes and experiences. When a person consciously imagines their goals with clarity, emotion, and sensory detail, the mind begins to treat these images as a form of reality, preparing the subconscious to recognize opportunities, generate solutions, and take action that supports their manifestation. The act of visualization engages both the conscious and subconscious mind simultaneously, providing a roadmap for behavior, decision-making, and creative thinking that aligns with the envisioned results. Repetition of this practice, especially during periods of relaxation or before sleep, strengthens the neural connections associated with these mental images, embedding them deeply into the subconscious and making them more likely to influence real-world actions. Emotional engagement is critical, as the intensity of feeling associated with a visualized goal signals its importance to the mind, increasing motivation and focus while reducing resistance from doubt or fear. Goal alignment occurs when these visualized outcomes are harmonized with personal values, strengths, and intentions, creating a sense of purpose that drives consistent effort and persistence. The subconscious mind, responsive to imagery and repetition, begins to organize experiences, ideas, and resources in ways that naturally support the realization of these objectives, often presenting insights, opportunities, or solutions that may appear as intuitive guidance or sudden inspiration. Over time, the repeated mental rehearsal of success shapes both perception and behavior, allowing an individual to navigate challenges with confidence, maintain focus under pressure, and act decisively in alignment with their aspirations. Visualization also enhances problem solving and creativity by enabling the mind to explore possibilities, anticipate obstacles, and mentally rehearse strategies, creating a sense of preparedness and mastery. When combined with relaxation and mindfulness, visualization becomes even more effective, as the receptive state of the mind allows images and affirmations to integrate deeply, influencing habits, attitudes, and decision-making processes. By consciously practicing visualization and aligning goals with inner purpose, an individual harnesses the natural organizing power of the mind, transforming abstract desires into actionable plans, and gradually turning intention into tangible achievement, while cultivating resilience, clarity, and the inner confidence required to pursue success consistently. Repetition and suggestion are fundamental tools for influencing the mind, shaping behavior, and embedding ideas deeply into the subconscious, creating a powerful foundation for personal growth and transformation. The mind, particularly the subconscious, responds most effectively to repeated input, gradually accepting the messages it hears frequently as truth and aligning thoughts, beliefs, and actions accordingly. This principle applies equally to constructive and limiting suggestions, which is why careful attention to the quality of repeated ideas is essential. Positive affirmations, motivational statements, and empowering lessons, when presented consistently, gradually overwrite negative or self-limiting patterns, forming new mental habits that influence behavior naturally and effortlessly. The subconscious does not judge the validity of suggestions. It simply accepts what is repeated, stores it, and begins to act in alignment with it over time, making repetition a subtle yet extraordinarily effective method for self-improvement. When these suggestions are delivered during relaxed states, such as moments before sleep or periods of calm reflection, the mind is particularly receptive, allowing the ideas to integrate deeply without resistance or conscious interference. Emotional engagement enhances this effect, as suggestions tied to feeling and belief are more readily absorbed and internalized, increasing their influence on thought processes, decision-making, and behavior. The cumulative impact of consistent repetition is a gradual but profound transformation, where empowering beliefs become automatic, confidence grows, and the mind becomes oriented toward success, resilience, and purpose. Over time, this process fosters self-discipline, clarity, and focused action, as the subconscious guides responses in alignment with the repeated messages, reinforcing positive habits while reducing self-doubt and hesitation. By carefully selecting the messages one exposes the mind to and repeating them with intention and conviction, individuals harness the natural mechanisms of learning and adaptation within the brain, turning simple repetition into a powerful tool for lifelong development. This method also leverages the mind's capacity for visualization and imagination, as repeated suggestions often evoke mental images that further reinforce desired outcomes, strengthening the alignment between thought and action. Repetition and suggestion, therefore, serve as the silent architects of the mind, shaping beliefs, attitudes, and behaviors from the inside out, gradually building a mental environment that supports achievement, personal growth, and the realization of one's highest aspirations, while simultaneously transforming the inner dialogue into a source of motivation, guidance, and enduring strength. Quiet transformation through mindfulness is a subtle yet profoundly effective process that allows the mind to absorb, integrate, and internalize wisdom without force or strain, creating lasting change over time. Unlike dramatic efforts that rely on willpower alone, this method works gently, leveraging the natural receptivity of the mind during moments of calm, reflection, or relaxed attention. When an individual practices mindfulness, paying focused, non-judgmental attention to thoughts, sensations, and inner experiences, they create a mental environment that encourages self-awareness, clarity, and intentional growth. In this state, the mind is able to observe limiting beliefs, destructive patterns, and habitual reactions without resistance, allowing these old constructs to be replaced gradually with constructive and empowering alternatives. The quiet nature of this transformation is key. Change does not need to be rushed, forced, or aggressive because the subconscious mind responds to consistent, subtle input over time, internalizing ideas and lessons in a way that becomes automatic and deeply rooted. Listening to empowering statements, engaging with motivational thoughts, or practicing visualization while in a relaxed, mindful state magnifies their effectiveness as the